out this oppression. Well, I said wake up and rise. Well, I said wake up and rise for yourself and your people, for yourself now and our baby in real life. Never doubt your own movement or volition. We got to clean our minds, 'cause this corruption is the pollutant. I said, no, don't believe, in this confusion. I said, but we got to live our roots. I said, live our roots now and hold our position. Well, we got to wake up and rise. I said, wake up and rise for yourself and your people, for yourself now and our babies in real life. I said our freedom belongs to the people. 'Cause in this education system, our lies are trickery. I said brainwash apples, oh yes, stay soft. And now you wait too long, and they rot. And that's why we got to wake up and rise. Well, I said wake up and rise for yourself and your people, for yourself now and our babies in real life.
That was Wake Up and Rise, and you're listening to CKMS 102.7 FM radio. We are Two White Feather, Lord Gentle Eagle, and Cedar Bear. And this is the Red Road Journey, where we aim to amplify Indigenous voices to heal ourselves, our planet, our community, and our relatives. We're broadcasting you from the traditional territories of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Today on the Red Road Journey Show, we are continuing to share the Medicine Wheel teachings about wellness as it understood through the Indigenous lens. Wellness, balance, harmony is the interconnection between the physical bodies that hold hope, our mental bodies that hold purpose, our emotional bodies that belong and hold belonging. So let's rephrase that. Our emotional bodies that hold belonging and our spiritual bodies that hold meaning. In the past few weeks, we are explored the physical, mental, emotional, and now we're calling attention to honoring the spiritual well-being. Now, we're going to play a clip from Wensler No Senior Apache Tribe. And here it is.
I don't care what medicine man, shaman, we're humans. And the best teacher to wake you up is Mother Earth. The best teacher is the water, the trees, the wind. It's as simple as going to a river, an ocean, and putting your hands in it. It's as simple as that. And then those who are in the forest like this is actually touching a mother tree. And what happens inside you, it triggers. It triggers the spiritual awakening that has been covered, has been fought to be taken out of you. Because once you turn up the volume, and from what colonization has done, then you hear. And you hear the spirits. Don't forget that, because it was everywhere. Not just here among Native people. It was everywhere.
So that was Wensler Nosey Sr. from the Apache tribe, and he was talking about a spiritual awakening, and that's what we've decided to title this episode. It's episode 33, believe it or not, for us, Spiritual Awakening on the Red Road Journey. We thought it would be a good discussion to have on the air about how Two White Feather and myself, Lori Gentle Eagle, have come to live our truths as both Anishinaabe and pagan people. And we encourage you to reflect on ways you can begin to live by your truths, whatever they may be. For Indigenous people, some of the ways to cultivate spiritual wellness include the following: the naming ceremony, being gifted colors, knowing your clan, building a traditional dwelling, creating spiritual items, building your medicine bundle, and learning your creation story, drumming, singing, practicing the 7 grandfather teachings. So, Two White Feather, I was hoping that we could open this up and have a conversation and maybe share a little bit about some of the ways spiritual awakening has happened for you through some of these methods. So with regard to the naming ceremony, do you have anything to share about the naming ceremony and how that came to be for you?
There was a shake tent. There was an elder up in Cape Croker. And yeah, we did a shake tent, and that's where I got my name and my colors and all that. And yeah.
Yeah, I only recently became aware of the shaking tent ceremony, and I'm sure I know only a very, very small part of that sacred process. But I did receive a name, and my name, my medicine name, was gifted to me by a teacher, Gashida Kiawak of the Whispering Song Teaching Lodge. And it did not come through a shaking tent, but it came through an experience that was, life-changing for me. You'll probably laugh, but I had to paddle out to a little island there where we were. We were quite far up north. And this was after some people in the lodge had walked on fire and coals. I didn't have that experience. Mine instead was with water. And so I had to paddle my way out on the canoe out to this island where the ceremony was done, and I was gifted that name. And I had to have some help getting in and out of the canoe. Paddling was fine, but in and out, boy, was I off balance. So thank you to the sisters that I had that assisted with that part of the journey. And I know from my name that your name is something that you grow into. And so what it might have meant for me in the beginning is certainly not what it means now. We grow into our names and the meaning becomes, clearer as we go. So what about being gifted colors? That's not something I've experienced in my tradition. Two White Feather, do you have anything to say about that?
Same with the shaking tin. I got it through the shaking tin.
Okay, so part of that ceremony as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And knowing your clan, did you want to share what clan animal is yours?
Wolf, and I just through my mom's side, I think. Yeah, my mom's side. So she's Wolf Clan, so I'd follow that, right? So that's.
What does it mean to be Wolf Clan? What is your understanding?
Protection, a leader. Sorry, that was my little puppy. So being a leader, protective of your family. Everyone, I think of it too as everyone has their own qualities and their own strengths. So that we can work together as one instead of one person doing this and that. And that's the same thing like in a wolf pack too. If you see them walking, even you'll see the couple strongest in the front and the back, and then the elders and then the kids and all that, right? And whatnot. It's all and how they walk too, right? So that
piece I can see for you. You taking care of, certainly taking care of your family in quotation marks, because that means different things certainly to you and to others. But also the part about how people are positioned, because I know you're very sensitive to those who are weaker, for lack of a better way of saying it, or disadvantaged in some way, needing a little more support and help, and you're always there to do what you can for them. So so and certainly we have our own little wolf pack. You can hear one of them in the background now, but
well, there's someone else in another room there in the studio, and she wants to go make friends with them. So she loves making new friends, right? So, but that's one of our little wolf pack right there. Mm-hmm. That's our little puppy Cedar.
Yeah, and we also have Rogue, Arrow, and a foster by the name of Rufus.
Rufus, the grandpa.
Yeah, you've added to your clan.
Yeah. So,
building a traditional dwelling. What about that? Do you have anything to say with regard to that? Because I know you have done that, and of course we intend to build one with finding common ground.
It was like simple as building a house, really. You add the structure and then the ribs so that it can all hold together, and then depending on who's doing it, they would either tarp it or put like blankets and stuff over top of it to sort of seal it, so that when you do bring in hot rocks, or if you have a fire in the middle, that it'll keep warm, right? And then like 2 exits on a door on each side, right? And then usually, depending on how big you can make it, you can add like beds in there, or even benches and tables, like a table in the middle type thing for like a gathering. And then that goes as to like sweat lodges and stuff like that. It's the same idea. So yeah, so
Just a little different shape.
yeah,
right?
just different shapes, you know. So depending on what you're building, you got to, you know, get the frame up, and then you got to put the ribs on, and then you know, and that's the whole structure right there, pretty much, right? So yeah, if depending on what you're building, sweat lodge or just a teaching lodge or whatever, it's the same basic way of building, right? So.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to see some of the building that Two White Feather did on a lodge or a wigwam like structure out on Six Nations. I think you made 3 in total, and it was pretty fascinating actually. And as I said, we hope to be doing that soon with our project Finding Common Ground. And I've been in a sweat lodge before. Haven't been a part of making it, but certainly sitting within it, and quite a healing experience, spiritual awakening for sure. I feel so incredibly rejuvenated coming out of the sweats. Creating spiritual items. I mean, I can speak to this one. We certainly do this together, and we create those spiritual items with our program, The Creator's Shelf, and build them into our medicine bundle and use them as tools to help us walk our talk with more, peace, pride, commitment to those teachings. And I think my favorite, if I can say that, spiritual item was a drum that I made actually, and the deer that I chose to work with, we could all pick our own, was pretty incredible. Like it had lots of different colors weaved throughout it, and so it wasn't that solid one color. It had lots of different shades, and as a result of that, I could see a lot within the drum, and still can to this day. So it's a lot of medicine in there, not just with the playing of it, of course, the heartbeat of Mother Earth, but what I can see within the skin. So it's pretty cool, and that's a big part of my medicine bundle. Still learning to play it, of course, and getting the confidence up, and singing with it. And then practicing the 7 grandfather teachings. Well, that's something that Two White Feather and I definitely, aim to do
On a daily basis, we try.
We're actually going to be posting on our Facebook site very soon ideas that you can use to walk your talk, and we'll be sharing what we do, what's helped us get through each day. Actually, we'll be reflecting on what we did. Whether it was a good day or a bad day, just what we did to help us practice and apply those 7 grandfather teachings. And creation stories, of course. That's where we're going to come to now. The creation stories are a big part of spiritual awakening and reconnecting. So creation stories tell us where we come from, and they shed light on where we are going. Quote, the white man have either Darwinism or creationism, in all its many expressions, as their stories. But Indigenous folks have their stories too, including those who were Indigenous to pre-Christian Europe. So that's my background, also known as the witches or the pagans. And we're going to share some of those stories with you. So here is which one are you going to play first?
The Ojibwe legend of Turtle Island. So here this one is.
Welcome to another episode of White Buffalo Circles at Home Edition. Today I'm going to tell my daughter the story of Turtle Island and why the Ojibwe people call this place Turtle Island. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you're being safe out there. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Honey, Sunshine.
Mommy,
How are you doing today?
good.
Good. So, we've been doing a bunch of videos, and today in this video I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, a lot of times when I work with kindergarten kids and young kids especially, and I tell them that we never called this place Canada, we called it
Turtle Island.
Turtle Island, right? A lot of them wonder, why Turtle Island? Why would you call this place Turtle Island? So, we're going to tell the story today about why the Ojibwe people call this place Turtle Island. And this story has to do with a great flood. And it's very interesting about a great flood because in the Bible, they talk about a story about a great flood, the story of Noah's Ark. And in African culture, they tell a story of a great flood. And in Aborigine culture in Australia, they have a story of a great flood. All around the world, cultures and histories talk about this great flood. And if every culture around Mother Earth talks about a great flood, guess what? There was a great flood at some time in our history. Now, the Ojibwe story goes like this. It has a little bit to do with Nana Bojo. And a very long time ago, when God first put people here on Mother Earth, God wanted us to behave a certain way. He gave us instructions. And the Ojibwe people, we have the 7 grandfather teachings, and we follow those teachings. But as time went on and more people started to fill Mother Earth, those people began to lose their way. They began to be disrespectful to their neighbors. They began to disrespect their children and women. They began to disrespect all of creation and put themselves above all of that beautiful circle of creation. And God looked down on the people at that time in disgust. He was so disappointed with the way that we were living here on Mother Earth, he decided to cleanse the earth of the wicked people. And when you want to cleanse something, what you do is you send water. If you want to destroy something, you just send fire, and that'll destroy it. But he didn't want to destroy Mother Earth. He didn't want to destroy creation. He just wanted to cleanse, wash away the wickedness that had become on Mother Earth. So in the Bible, it says it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And they call it a deluge in the Bible. And I kind of like to cross-reference the stories when I do this because there's a lot of good visuals and references in that Bible as well. Now, the Ojibwe story has to do with Nana Bojo. Now, Nana Bojo is a spirit being, a creature in our culture in many, many stories. And when the great floods came to Mother Earth, Nana Bojo was walking on creation at that time. So the rains started to pour down for 40 days and 40 nights. And pretty soon, all the little creeks started to overflow their banks. And all the rivers started to overflow their banks. And pretty soon, all the lakes filled up over the shores. And all across creation, the water began to rise and cover the lands. Now, Nana Bojo, when this happened, he was able to grab onto this humongous log and hold on tight. And as that log floated through the waters and down the rivers and rushed out into the great seas, he held on as tight as he could. After 40 days and 40 nights, Nana Bojo was still holding on to that great big log out in the open waters. But he was tired, he was exhausted, and he started to begin to slip off the log. Now, most humans, regular humans like me and you, we would have died a long time ago because we really need food and water, and if we don't have access to that, we'd die long before 40 days. But Nana Bojo was no regular human. So he's holding onto this great big log, and he's starting to slip off the log into the water. And this great big sea turtle, and back then the animals were much larger than they are today, so he was this huge sea turtle. And he swam up underneath Nana Bojo, and he started to watch him on the log slip from the log and fall underneath the water. So what the sea turtle did was he came up underneath Nana Bojo and he caught him on his giant shell and he raised him back up to the water surface so that he could breathe again. So the turtle has saved Nana Bojo for the time being. But Nana Bojo is laying on the back of this giant sea turtle. He's got no food, he's got no water, he's exposed to the sunlight now, and he's dying still. And the turtle doesn't know how to help him because there's nowhere to go. There's no land anywhere in sight because the water is so deep it's covered even the biggest mountains. Now, many of the water creatures survived this flood. The beaver loves water, right? The muskrat was out there, the loons, seals and walruses and all these different water creatures that are okay in the water. They began to gather around the turtle's shell and look at Nana Beaujeu. They were seeing this human laying there and they were wondering what was going on. And pretty soon they start talking to each other and they're trying to figure out if there's any way they can help Nana Beaujeu. And as time goes by and the discussion carries on, none of the animals can figure out what to do. And it was the turtle in the story that I was told. The turtle gets this great idea. And he says to creation, he says to the creatures, if you can get me a little bit of soil from the bottom of the ocean, with the help of the creator, I might be able to create something for Nana Beaujeu. So right away, the biggest, strongest animal gets up, the walrus, the one with the big tusks there. And he says, I'm the biggest animal here. I'm the best swimmer. Don't worry about it. I got this. And he gets up on turtle shell, takes a deep breath. Down walrus goes. Walrus is swimming and swimming and swimming. Now, mammals need to breathe air. They can hold their breath for a long time, but eventually they have to come back up. And that's walrus is swimming. He's gone for about 10 minutes, then about 15 minutes. Pretty soon, 25 minutes went by, and that big walrus come up out of the water. And he took a deep breath of air, and he was exhausted. And he comes back to the turtle shell, and he gets up on the side of the turtle shell, and he looks around at the other animals, trying to catch his breath. And he says, I swam as deep and as far and as fast as I could swim, and I couldn't even see the bottom. This water is so deep right now, there's no way any of us are ever going to make it to the bottom. So next, the big leopard seal, he gets up there, and he says, I'm a better swimmer than you anyway, walrus. I'll give it a try. He gets up on the shell, takes a deep breath, down he goes. This is the leopard seal this time. And he's a torpedo. He's swimming super fast, deep down into the ocean, into the darkness, as fast as he can swim. He's gone, same thing, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes go by, a little more than 25 minutes, 30 minutes go by. Big leopard seal jumps out of the water, takes a huge breath, gasp of air, and he comes back to turtle shell, and he gets on the shell, and same thing, he looks around at the other animals, and he says, I swam as fast and far, deeper than walrus, faster than walrus, and I couldn't even see the bottom. There's no way anyone's going to make it to the bottom of this ocean. So then the beaver gets up there, he says, okay, I'll give it a try, and beaver goes down. Same thing, comes back up. Then the loon goes down, loon tries, and there's this really cool water bird called the hell diver, and the hell diver goes down one after another after another. The animals are trying desperately to get to the bottom so they can bring up some soil and put it on the back of turtle's shell. But they're all failing. And the day is going by, now it's getting late into the afternoon, and you're starting to see the sunset. And the animals are starting to give up hope. They're starting to talk to each other and say, look, we tried our best to help Nana Beaujeu, but there's just no way that we're going to be able to do it. So finally, as they're kind of talking and amongst themselves, they hear this tiny little voice coming from behind them say, I'll give it a try. And they're looking around. Walrus didn't even see who it was because there's so many animals gathered around. And this little creature called the muskrat comes out from beneath the other creatures in between them, and he looks up and he says, I'll give it a try. And right away, when the other animals see muskrat, they start laughing. They're like, oh, come on, muskrat. If I couldn't do it, there's no way you're going to be able to do it. Don't even waste your time. Don't bother. But muskrat steps up and he speaks up and he says, look, I want to help Nana Beaujeu. I'm going to give it a try. And he gets up on turtle shell. That little guy took as big a breath as he could, and down he went. He disappears under the waves. And he's swimming down, he's swimming down, he's swimming down. And the other animals are up there, they're laughing like, this isn't going to work at all. So 20 minutes go by, no muskrat. And then 25 minutes go by. This is about when the other animals started to come up. 30 minutes went by, no muskrat. 35 minutes, still no muskrat. And now the animals are really getting worried. They're starting to look around and wonder where muskrat had gotten to. 40 minutes go by, and you see off in the distance there, little muskrat's body pops to the surface. And they see his body float to the surface, so they rush over, and they grab little muskrat, and they bring him back to turtle shell, and they put him on the back of turtle shell, and they flip him over, He's not moving. So they start to check for signs of life, right? They listen for his breath, but there's no breath there. And then they check his little pulse to see if he's got a heartbeat. And there's no heartbeat. Muskrat has died. Muskrat drowned trying to get to the bottom. So now all the animals are feeling really sad because they were just laughing at this poor little guy for trying to help Nana Beaujeu, and here he tried so hard, he sacrificed his life, and he died trying to get to the bottom of the ocean. So they're all sitting around feeling really sad, and it was the beaver. Beaver looked over at little Muskrat, and he noticed that Muskrat's paw was in this tight little fist. So he comes over, and he peels open Muskrat's tiny little paw, and inside that little paw was some soil, was some earth. So Muskrat made it. He got all the way to the bottom of the ocean. When those big animals were getting down and they knew they were running out of breath, they turned around, they gave up, and they went back. But Muskrat pushed through it, and he went all the way down. He got right to the bottom of the ocean, and he got that little bit of soil. But as he was swimming back to the top, he ran out of air and he drowned. So it's kind of a sad situation, but Muskrat is the hero. So they take that little bit of soil in Muskrat's paw and slap it on the back of Turtle's shell. And as soon as the soil hits the back of Turtle's shell, the shell starts to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that little bit of soil started to spread out across the shell. And then pretty soon grass started to pop up off the back of that turtle shell and that little bit of soil. And before the animals knew it, they were looking around and they couldn't even see the edge of Turtle's shell. It had gotten so big, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then that grass turned into bushes. And those bushes turned into trees. And before they knew it, once again, they were standing around Nana Beaujeu in the middle of this thick, dense forest that had grown on the back of Turtle's shell. And that shell grew up and grew out and got so big, it grew into what we now know as North America. It grew into the home that we call Turtle Island. So that is the story of Turtle Island. Do you like that story, Sunshine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I like about most of the Ojibwe stories is that it's never the bear that's the hero. It's not the big wolf that's the hero. In most of our stories, not all, but most, it's usually the little guy. It's the mouse that gnaws the rope to save the day. Or it's the little hummingbird that comes in and she's the hero. And in this case, that little muskrat, he was the hero of this story.
So that was The Legend of Turtle Island by White Buffalo Productions. So our next creation story is going to be about the Wiccan story of creation, the background of pagan.
Backyard pagan.
Oh, backyard pagan. So here it is.
Long ago, there was only darkness, a deep, ebony ocean of empty infinity, the void that was no place. From this place of nothingness, spirit drew in upon itself, and with a mighty burst of joyful vibration, Our Lady of Light exploded into being, her essence the totality of perfect love and perfect trust. In her heart, she held the presence of spirit, and there was no part of her that was not of the divine. In delight, Our Lady began the great work. She danced among the heavens, her bare feet beating out the rhythm of all creation, giving birth to every pattern of energy as sparks of light catapulted from her flying hair and extended fingertips. She created the stars and planets and bid to them to dance with her. As they began to move, so the cycle of the year was born, and the divine symphony of the universe came into form. She gave them names of power, each unto their own. These things moved from the void into the thought, given the breath of life, and then into the world. Our Lady chanted the words of perfect love and perfect peace, and as these sounds fell to the earth, the trees, flowers, and grasses took root in the fertile soil of Gaia. From the pure white light of her breath came the colors of the universe, turning all things to vibrant beauty. From the bubbling laughter in her throat sprang the sounds of the clear running water of the streams, the gentle lapping vibrations of the lake, and the roaring of the oceans. Her tears of happiness became the rains of our survival. Our Lady was the presence, and the presence Our Lady. And when her dancing slowed, the Lady sought a companion to share the wonders of the many worlds. As the Holy Spirit, she created the God as her soulmate. Because Our Lady, soul of the earth, the energy pattern of the God contained both the essence of the presence and the divine energy of the earth. And he was known by many names: Green Man, Lord of the Forest, King of the Fields, and Father, Son, and Sage. Together, the Lord and Lady created all the beings of earth. The Lord's power moved through her, and she showered the earth and all upon it with her blessings. Together they designed the birds, animals, fishes, insects, reptiles, and people of our world. To protect and guide the humans, the Lord and Lady fashioned the angels, guides, and spirits of power. These energies still walk with us, although we often cannot see them. To each being, Our Lady gave a unique vibration in which to communicate, and the Lord bestowed to each the fire of passion and the burning instinct to survive. As a gift for his magnificent handiwork in caring for the creatures of the earth, Our Lady gave our Lord a crown of stag antlers, which he wears upon his gray head. This aspect of half man, half animal would forever show his joy in both the human and animal creations of the presence. The crown will always be a symbol that people can spiritually work with the duality of their own natures to reach into the core of spirit. Together, the Lord and Lady blessed the first humans with free will. We are gods, and the gods are us, the people cried. And the Lord and Lady smiled. We are all one, said Our Lady. And through a web of silver light she connected each human to the other, and then linked the humans to all other energy patterns on the planet. When this was done, she wove herself and her Lord into the divine tapestry of pulsating energy. Love is the law, honor is the bond, said the Lord as he empowered the tapestry of life. Our Lady has many names: Isis, Astarte, Bride, Diana, Aradia, Inanna, Hecate, Mitsugami, and thousands more. The Lady walks within and beside each woman and man of every race and every place. She is the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. She is the sacred trinity of all religions. Indeed, she is the Holy Ghost. The Lord has many faces, from the strong Cernus to the delightful Pan, and Osiris, Tyre, Anubis, Ra, Apollo, Odin, and thousands more. He guards and guides us and resides in each man and woman of every race in every place. When thunder roars in the heavens and lightning cracks from the ground, the Lord and Lady dance the divine myth of creation so that we may remember them and know we are never alone and that we are one. When the sun rises each morning, we bask in the joy of his love for us. And when the moon moves through her phases, we understand the cycle of birth, growth, death, and rebirth, as is the nature of all things, and we honor her power. But as the humans began to grow and prosper, they forgot about their divine parents. Although the Lord and Lady called to their children, they did not listen. They were lost, fighting the demons they themselves have created. Not wishing to abandon their children, the Lord and Lady decided to create healers and workers of harmony among the humans to remind them of the divine source and to show them the way home to the arms of the Mother. Within each special soul would be the remembrance of the great work to love, create, and move in harmony. And so the Lord and Lady drew forth energy from the realm of angels, the realm of power, animals, the realm of the dead, and the realm of humans, instilling these special souls with the divine energy of the presence through miracles of magic. These beings of power were and are called witches. Our Lady taught the witches the wisdom of the universe. They were instructed how to cast a circle of art and how to communicate with spirit, because the humans of earth had forgotten. She taught them to talk to the dead, how to honor their ancestors in succession of teachers, and how to focus the mind and cast a spell. In each brain she imprinted the patterns of all the energies of the solar system, and how to work magic by the moon and the stars. The Lord taught the witches how to meld with the elements and spirits of air, fire, earth, and water, and to communicate with the animal and plant kingdoms. He taught them weather magic and the healing arts with energy and plants, and most of all, like their ancestors before them, he taught them how to protect themselves and how to survive. Each witch was given the rites of purification and the ability to tap into his or her lineage of creation. Together, the Lord and Lady gave the humans the witch's pyramid: to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent, because they knew that not all the humans on earth would welcome these special beings of magic and love. The instruction complete, the witches were sent to every culture and every tribe on the planet Earth, being born of the people but carrying the mission of the divine. In this way, they have been known by many names and many races, yet in soul witches they remain. Above all, they are given the message that the goddess lives. Even with the great work of the magical people, perfect love and perfect trust did not come easily. Many religions rose among the people to honor the mother and father, but each in turn cast out our mother, thinking that worshiping the god alone would bring them the riches and the strength they needed. In his disappointment of their actions, the Lord abandoned each religion, allowing them to crumble and die in the dust of the earth. Rather than create beauty and joy, the humans sought to destroy one another, to spread the sickness of greed and despair among their own. They forgot that the power within is greater than the power over one another. The people would not listen to the witches. Instead, they burned them. Thus, over times of great trial and suffering, the witches became the hidden children, conducting their rites in secret lest they risk capture and death at the hands of the fearful humans in their terrible dogma. As the world grew dark, with the ignorance and hate created by the humans, and evil arose like black steam from the cauldron of their minds, covering the planet with negative energy, the lady whispered to the witches that they should draw power from her body, the body of the moon, and the Lord enchanted the vibrant rays of the sun to instill them with strength. The moon and the sun, they said, are beacons of the great work. As long as they shine, you may draw from them whatever energy you need. And when you look to these symbols in the heavens, you will know that we are within you. There is no part of you that is not of the gods. And so it was that once a month, when the moon grew full, the witches celebrated in secret and remembered the blessings our mother bestowed upon them, and worked magic to fulfill their divine mission of the great work. In these rites, the witches called forth the essence of the Lord and Lady to help them take care of themselves, their families, the planet, and their friends. 4 times a year, as the cross quarters, Samhain, Candlemas, Beltane, Lammas, blossomed with bonfires across the land, the witches celebrated the festivals of fire in honor of our Lord and his love and protection for all, the children of the earth, as well as the birth of our mother from the void and the divine dance that brought all humans into creation. At the 4 quarters of the seasons, Yule, Ostara, summer solstice, and Mabon, the witches honored the solar cycle of life and the gifts of the earth through celebrations of Thanksgiving. For 8,000 years, we have done this. For our essence is in every shaman, every magi, every priest, and every priestess who carries the hidden truth of perfect love and perfect trust within their souls. We are the craft of the wise. When it is our time to leave the earth plane, Our Lady sends a guide to escort us to the summer land. From the presence that moves and flows through the Lord and Lady, we continue to learn the mysticism of the universe, so that we may return, life after life, to serve our brothers and sisters, to remind them that they are only visiting here, and that each action, not each piece of gold garnered, is the way, the truth, and the light. In each lifetime, Spirit guides us through learning experiences, preparing us along the way for our individual missions. Sometimes we are born and among our own kind, but more often than not, we are born among the unbelievers. We are born to show them the way home. It is by our actions, not our preaching, that the journey is made. We are the witches, the representatives of wisdom's growth on our planet. because the religions of the world would have failed to recognize the great work and to see our mother in all things. The Lord and Lady gave us our own religion. This is our greatest test. We are the hidden children. We are the people, the power, and the change. And we have incarnated in every race and in every culture, and will continue to do so until the end of time. We are the weavers. We are the web. We cannot be stopped because we are the presence. And the presence is us. We are the divine angels of earth. We are the heavens and the stars. We are the earth, the air, the fire, and the water. We are the spirit. We are one. And we have come to guide you home. For we are the witches back from the dead. So would it be.
So
That was the creation story, the Wiccan creation story by Backward Pagan, narrated by Gray Ravenswood. And I just wanted to say there, seeing the mother in us all, right, brings that creation story very close to the Ojibwe legend of Turtle Island as well, and our Earth Mother. So now we're going to play some music selections, and I think we're going to have time for two songs. So the first one we're going to play is by True Res Crew. It's called I Am a Lucky One. And then we're going to end off with Mimi Obonsawin, Here's to the Women.
This is for my Native American people, nationwide, yeah. I'm a lucky one, my parents were always there. I'm amazed with their ways, let me inherit their care. Cherished like a 24-karat gold, I wear it, let me share it every time, that's just peace in the air. Warm like fleece when our teeth we bare. If I'm smiling when I'm wildin', then it must be a dare. If you're bringing up beef, native pull up a chair. I'm the chief at the table and able to hold your stare. No relief when we start, life is never fair. Don't get caught in a snare like you got caught in a web. Adrenaline flows and noses start to flare. I know what you're thinking because I used to be there. I can go to any reservation in the world. I respect every man and woman, boy and girl. I'm flaunt for sure cause I'm an entrepreneur. But if you prefer, I'm humble like the one that you were. I'm a lucky one, and I won't look back. Never that. I won't look back. Nah, never. Gotta look towards the future. I blame no one, all that I can change is myself. But I'm wasted in a week instead of watching my health. Instead of climbing the peak, I dwell in fame and wealth. Fell in ways that seek out the pain I felt. Reminiscing the past, while relationships melt. All the seasons has passed since I last lost count. I got no reason to laugh, but I'm the last to pout. And I carry lots of clout, no matter what the cost. We spent and flossed when we chose to covet. And we drank and soft, but we rose above it. All our paths were crossed, and like a rose we love it. Yo, I'll meet you at the summit when we spit flows in public. Never act a clown cause we once were kings. Like my native man, well locked down till spring. He'll be back a year older when the birds start to sing. And we'll change your whole world with the hope we bring. This is dedicated to those among us who rose above us because they chose to love us. And when we didn't push ourselves, they were first to shove us. Sent from the sky and gave birth to the toughest. This is dedicated to those among us who rose above us because they chose to love us. And when we didn't push ourselves, they were first to shove us. Sent from the sky and gave birth to the toughest. Yeah. Keep your heads held high and never ever look back.
Don't look back, don't you ever look back, don't
So that was Lucky Ones by True Res Crew. Excuse me. A reminder to go off Facebook pages to fill out our Bell Let's Talk survey. Our deadline is January 31st, and there will be a draw for participating when you get the survey back to us. You could win a handmade craft off the creator's shelf. So if you guys want to do that survey, get it off the Facebook page there and get it back to us. You can either take a picture or whatever and send it to Messenger or email or whatever, and you will be put into a draw.
That's part of our Eagle visioning process. So we really are looking for your feedback to make the mental health and justice system more helpful to Indigenous folks and our marginalized relatives.
Yes. So our last song to go out with is Mimi Bonzoin, Here's to the Woman. So here it is. Hook ya.
With Google Workspace, apps like Docs, Drive, Gmail, and Meet are connected and in one.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning, which ranks even higher than the 18th best feeling.
Thank you for listening to the Red Road Show on 102.7 CKMS FM Waterloo. Here's the next show. Thank you.
Doesn't need.
Hi, I'm Jun Sung, a lead actor in